Hello all, welcome to Ambari Cloud YouTube channel. Part of Ambari Cloud Open Lakehouse 108 recipes. Today I'm going to discuss a small video about how to generate test data. We will be learning a lot of Iceberg applications and then how to implement partitioning, hidden partitions and the storage joins, SPJs, right? All those things. But sometimes, it's difficult to generate data manually, right? Inserting rows. Let's say in your laptop, if you have 8 gig or 16 gig RAM, you can load billions of rows and you can test an Iceberg table. So, but more often we get stuck into how to generate real data, right? With proper data types. What I mean is, so Databricks, they built a module, DBL data gen module, right? You can use it. You can create your data and then load it into your table, right? So I'm going to walk through how to use it, and definitely useful tool, particularly if you want to do load test and then, or you want to generate a test data, right? Yes, you can generate test data. You can give your data types and then your table definition, everything. Then you can generate test data for testing. Okay. Or if you want to do same time when you want to do branching testing, this is differently useful. So I always use it. Right. So let's get into very simple. So you need to install DBL Gen, right? Pip install, already installed it. Then I'm going to start my Spark configuration. Now here you need to import DBL data gen DZ module, right? So here I want to generate 1,000 rows. You can go up to billion, 2 billion, depends on, right? So very simple here, DB generator, right? And the name of this generator, right? It can be any name, and then of course row count here. Then here, if you look at is my columns, right? If you look at here, this is almost like a Spark data frame. It is actually, but if you look at here, column name, basically it's generating a Spark data frame, right? You column name, then you can use Spark data types here, right? And then, if this is integer, float, and then timestamp, then you can tell what is the min-max values when you're generating here, right? And then, of course, if you have a billion rows and, you can go there. Then if you want to begin the dates, what dates you want to start and end. So then it does the random generation, right? So I'm going to run again. And then, so once you build your spec, right, you're going to build it, right? Once you define your spec, you're going to build it. Then look at how many rows it has. Then let's say I'm going to use, let's try that one. Okay, additional rows. Okay, 10,000 rows, right? Yeah, well, this is, I don't want too many rows here. Okay, so count, and then if you see the data here, right, order ID and customer ID, and this is a sequence number from the data frame in here, right? So this is how your data is generated. Now let's look at the schema here, right? So if you look at your data frame, when you do print schema, yeah, this is you have a ID column long, and then order ID, and then customer ID and all the stuff. So here I'm going to create my Iceberg table, right? Order ID and all the stuff. Then I'm going to insert these values because I don't need ID column here in my table, right? And so this data frame, I'm going to create a temporary view, right? In Spark. Then I'm going to, these are my temporary view. These are the columns I can store into table. Then, so yeah, that's anyhow Iceberg, how to store data. But here the key is data generator name, and with ID output, right? And then columns. If you don't want this ID output, then you don't need it. But you can define what is the data type for each column. Okay. Now let's get into a little bit complex example here. So let's run again and then here again some transaction name here, and then my ID output, of course, if I want it, ID value, but if not, then I have a user ID, right? Transaction amount, transaction date, right? Then product category, then you can define the values, list of values you want. This is a string, but let's say you have a dimension table, right? And then you have a list of values. Then you can define what values in the for the product category. Then you can add and I have a column is written, then the transaction amount here, and if it is less than, and then you can define your expression. So you're really generating a real test value, right? Then here you can use the tags, right? And then look at the shipping address struct, right? And then I can define my then while you're defining, then I can, so it's a data frame in a data frame, right? Then I can define how I want to generate the data, then which states I want it, and then, which cities you want, and then you can generate. So, you can, so build initially small, then keep adding it here. Right, and then so let's run this one again. How many rows I'm looking here? 1,000 rows only. Then I'm going to build it from the spec, right? And then show 4 rows. But the key here, if you look at my data frame, okay, tags. Then the tags are an element of array. Then my street, right, is a struct. Then my tags, delivery, and all. Then items. If you look at his array, but the array of struct. Look at that one. That is the key. It is not only array, but an array is a struct. So you can build, let's go to items here. Okay. Items, array, and struct. So you can define that. So this is beauty of data gen from Databricks, right? Use it and to build your test data. And very easy. You just define initial. Then you can also take advantage from ChatGPT, give you some example, and then saying that, okay, I have a shipping address, but which is a struct, and then, I want these columns within the struct. Then it takes a couple of more iterations to get final, but it's easy to build your data frame, and then you can change your count and then build your test data. Really useful. I've been always use it. So I have 2 modules here. Every time, in all my Iceberg testing and then demos, and I use this one. So instead of writing insert statements and all the stuff, you can you can build a notebook module, then you can import it, and then you can just, you have a 10, 15 columns, and based on your type, and then you just create your view, and then get only those columns from your data frame, and then insert it, right? So here, I have a table, for example, only these 2 columns. So I can build this as one data frame. Then I can use all the columns, right? So easy to use. And for testing, and we always use this one for testing for branching, right? I want to do branch, but I want to add more data. Then I showed this one to someone, machine learning engineer. They use it to load additional data. But this is kind of a valid data. They don't want to have a fake data. But this is fake data, but it's almost near to the valid data, right? And for testing purpose. So definitely a useful module, Databricks data gen module. All you have to do is just pip install, and then you're good to go. Okay. Any questions, please reach out to me, skondapalli@ambaricloud.com. Thank you. Bye now.